August 21st, 2014 is an evening that neither Lieutenant Eric Ballard from the South Metro Fire Department nor I will ever forget. Eric changed my life, and I his, and the reason is my husband, Patrick. This is his ghost bike. In the most ironic twist you can imagine, we changed each other's lives for the better. It's called the butterfly effect. Eric was en route with his team to Patrick when they got the call over the radio.
This individual is trapped, and we think in cardiac arrest.
My cell phone rang, and it was a number that I didn't recognize. And I just knew in the pit of my stomach that something really terrible had happened.
We raced to check on Patrick, and it was literally a 2-second or less conversation between Jeff and I to make a decision here. Is this, and for fire department terminology, it's rescue versus recovery. Is this a rescue or is this a recovery? And we did a quick physical exam. The ladder truck was lifting the trailer, and we're like, this is a rescue. This is a rescue. So, and because we saw signs of life still, we're gonna do everything in our capacity, skills and treatments and interventions wise from a kind of emergency medical standpoint. Here are all the things we can do. Let's do it.
It was at this intersection where Patrick was traveling in this direction on his bicycle. He had the right of way when a truck and a food trailer pulled out in front of him. He put his bike down to avoid slamming into the truck and slid underneath of the trailer hitch, which was so rusted out that it fell right on his back, in excess of 5,000 pounds, stopping his heart. When I walked into the ER, it looked like Patrick was sleeping. He wasn't cut or bruised, or it just looked like he was sleeping. So when the first responder, Eric, came into Patrick's emergency room, into his hospital room, he was larger than life, if you can imagine, for me, in all of his gear, and just this sign of hope to me and to my family that they had resuscitated him. They had done everything that they possibly could to help save his life.
We wanted an update. We were just, we were anxious to see the direction everything was headed. It's traumatic for us as well, because we're invested 110%.
On August 26th, shortly after midnight, Patrick Brian Fitzgerald left this world, surrounded by those who loved him so dearly, from Littleton Hospital. Help for him had come too late. His brain wasn't able to rebound from the lack of oxygen, no matter the valiant efforts to save his life. The devastation, the blinding grief, and the mourning began then. But we wouldn't let that be the end of his story. Patrick's life meant so much more than that. We were determined to turn tragedy into triumph, and we did that through the Butterfly Foundation and what has become our annual Putts for Patrick golf tournament to help Colorado families in crisis.
Right?
Integral to this tournament has always been the presence of the men who tried to save his life. Of course, among them, Lieutenant Eric Ballard.
Nancy wants us there, and what you're trying to do, it was obvious that this was going to be something special.
It was year 2 that Eric had an epiphany on how he could create the butterfly effect within South Metro and help his fellow first responders.
You simply ask, how can Butterfly Foundation support first responders? So my kind of way to follow your lead in inspiring and doing something positive with what we're facing is let's get them started with a peer support. Let's get them clinicians and counseling and the things that they need, because all these issues are major for us, and this is a fire department that did not have any of it. Suicide and first responders took over line of duty deaths or deaths of firefighters and first responders every year. We know we started tracking in 2015 that was more than heart attacks, cancer, traumatic injuries on the fire ground, all the other causes like that took over from. And now we're mostly funded, and we have a ton of resources now, and I still coordinate that same program.
First Responder Scholarships for the Peer Support Program is the beautiful outcome of two people who know how precious life is. Eric and I both agree it wasn't destiny that brought us together. It was our choice.
That night could have gone a lot different for both of us, and I know that it happened for a reason, that, you know, I was blessed to work with you and get to know your family and be a part of the positive journey that just keeps continuing for you. So I have no doubt that was meant to be.